Greetings, programs! This is Let's Code a Full 90, where we'll take the next hour and a half digging into some source code and try to make our part of the world a little bit of a better place. I'm your host, Rob Menching, and today we're going to continue as we have for the last 22, 23, well, this being the 23, so I guess the last 22 episodes, working on the Wix tool set, making Wix 4, go, be done. That's what we're working on. All right, so where did we leave off? We left off fixing some bugs. That's what we were doing. I had a dream, a hope, I don't know, a random thought that maybe, just maybe, we'd be able to get through 9 bugs in one episode. That was crazy. I think what we found is that we got through about a bug every 30 minutes. So 3 bugs in an hour and a half. Let's see if we can do that again. So we started with 9. We have 6 to go on my list. There's tons more bugs after that, but we're going to go through these. Of course, not all bugs are created equal, so who knows where we're going to end up on the speed of things. So I want to go ahead and pick up where we left off. I have a window here open with all of my bugs assigned to me, all 28 of them. Last time we took a shot at this enforce Windows installer limits and also the MSI package visible when permanent equals yes, which is, what number was that? 6764. 6764 on the next page. Oh, I can't wait to get back at it. Yep, 6764. All right, cool. So I figured we'd carry on from that, and we want 6745, which is just on the previous page. There we go. Remote payloads should not allow hash information to be specified with certificate information. All right, so this is essentially trying to narrow down the allowed set of attributes so that the user doesn't specify things that they shouldn't, and of course are allowed to specify things they need to. All right, so let's see. All right, so we had a big long discussion about this in triage, flipping back and forth, make sure we got the correct set of attributes. And I think it's all captured here with the comments between Bob and Sean at the end of it. So when we have certificate verification on a payload, we cannot have the hash, the size is optional, but the cache ID is required. Right, I remember this because in Wix 3, the hash was used as the cache ID, and that is, it was a questionable decision then. Certificate validation came in later, so we just kind of kept it in a backwards compatibility sort of way, very short backwards compatibility. Anyway, long story, doesn't matter. The net result is if you're doing certificate verification, then you need to specify your own cache ID to handle which is a unique value when you put things in the cache. And then when we have hash verification, hash is obviously required, size is still optional, and cache ID is optional. So we're gonna go dig in, find this code, and make it do this. Oh, actually, and then quick thing, size is required for hash verification because burn checks both the size and the hash. I remember that. So it's just an extra check on it. So if you have a hash, that should be unique within the world for any stream of bytes. You should be able to have one, although some hashes are stronger than others. If you also stick the size and you say this set of bytes at this size with this hash, that makes it slightly harder, even more, to crack the hashes. So we have the size, so we'll go ahead and use it. But that means it needs to be required. So let's go jump in the compiler here. I had a build going in the background. Hopefully it's far enough along that we're into Wix. Let's see, we're into the extensions now, I think. Yep, that looks like the extension build. So we'll jump over and bring up Visual Studio and get things going here. All right, so we are looking for the attributes on the remote payloads. So when we have remote payloads, so that's all of this, by the way, of course, is bundle work. Back and forth. All right, well, let's just go find where in the compiler, bundle, let's go ahead and look through here for hash, because it's probably going to be pretty unique. Yeah, there we go. Right. All right, tests, please run little tests. Uh-oh, I have a build failure over here. I was seeing this earlier. Ncrunch is not going to be helpful. I have to go debug into why our little Ncrunch is unhappy building this. All right, I don't really feel like doing that right now. Let's go ahead and make some of these changes, and then I'll probably have to live without NCrunch for a little bit here until I get a chance to go sit down and figure out why it's unhappy on my machine. Oh, I did just upgrade to Visual Studio 17.2 a little bit ago. I wonder if that's catching me. All right, whatever. I'll have to dig into that. All right, what are we doing? We are saying when we have certificate verification, hash is forbidden, size is optional, cache ID is required. All right, so let's go figure out how we get to authenticate 60. Well, we do that with the certificate thumbprint settings. So if we have a certificate thumbprint, I'm gonna have to write these down. I'm gonna keep going back and forth. Let me go ahead and drop this in a comment right here, just so I can get it a little bit shorter. All right, hash is forbidden. So, all right, so certificate hash forbidden, size optional, cache ID required. All right, no certificate, hash required, size required, cache ID optional. All right, there. Writing that down helps. Just saying it over and over doesn't help me. All right. So looking at this, when we process attributes, generally we just pull the value out of the XML. Sometimes we do some extra checking on it. And I don't see us doing too much extra checking. This allowed is basically saying, for remote payloads, you may specify the size and hash. So that's important. That logic stays. So I think that just means that we will process all of our changes down below after we process. Oh, there's not a lot of error checking here. Unless it's in this finish compiling package. Yeah, calculate and verify fields. All right, yeah, so, right. Look at all this logic we have. So, is remote. Okay. All right, so we're looking at the is remote allowed. Is remote allowed, right? Yeah, with a certificate, public key, certificate, or a hash. So the presence of any of those attributes mean we're a remote payload. So we do want to be down here in the is remote allowed. Great. So is remote allowed, and we are is remote. That's where we want to do the extra checking. Okay, great. So here we are. Currently, hash is always hash is illegal with other attribute. That's very strange. If it's not empty, okay, got it, then hash, right. So if we have a hash, you cannot also specify the local source file. That makes sense. This is the is local and is remote. Oh my goodness, there's so many different paths through here. I want to make sure I find them all. Is remote allowed? Is local? And we are a remote thing. Then we check these. Okay. So if we are a local file, okay, we have a source file, and we are also marked as is remote, then let's go ahead and say, hey, you can't have any of these attributes. Fine. So essentially, we're saying that if you have local, you cannot also be remote. And this is catching those two cases. So I want to then go say it is not local. Else if the file is not local. And how did is local get set? Oh, if the source file is empty. Right. So we are remote. Let's see. If we are local, if there is no source file, then I think, yeah, see here. Okay, great. So if we're not local, then we expect that we are remote, which is why this check down here says, if the hash is empty, say that we need a hash. All right, so our logic needs to come down here because this is finally we are not local, but we are remote. So we expect to be remote. So we're not a local file, and remote was allowed, which means we must be remote. All right, so now we have to update the logic. So here, for example, we can see that if size did not have a value, then it's required here. If size did not have a value, then we expected it to be here when there's no source file, which is only true when there's no certificate. Size is only required when there's no certificate. Got it. All right, so if there's a certificate, this check. All right, great. So let's work our way through these. Which way do we want to go first? Probably let's do the is certificate first. So if we have a certificate, which is this case, if we have a public key or a thumbprint, not empty, yep, then I think these expected attributes are saying, hey, you need both of these. Yep, so basically these are crossing the two. If you have either one of those, great. So this is if note payload is being verified by a certificate. All right. So if the remote payload is being certificated, all right. Else payload is being verified by hash. Great. So this is the no certificate case. Hash is required, size is required, which is these two guys right here. So these two move down inside this case when we're verifying by hash. Hash is required, size is required. Cache ID is optional. All right, we don't have to do anything for that. If it's present, and that's great. It's not required and it's not blocked, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so now we need to do it the other way. Size is optional. Cache ID is required. Okay, so size being optional means we don't have to worry about it. It'll probably just flow through. Hash. So if not, if the hash is not empty, then we want to say, okay, expected attribute without other attribute. Hash. Ooh, okay, we have to think about the error messages too. All right, here we want to say illegal attribute. I knew that. So we want to say illegal attribute with other attribute. Element lack. All right, illegal attribute. Ours first, other attribute second. So now here's where this gets interesting. One of these may be null. These are required. I'd like to catch this error message at the same time. I guess, I mean, let's see, if string dot is null or empty. Not the public key, then use the public key, otherwise use this one. Right. I just need one of them so that I can put it in here to say, hey, you can't have the hash when you have one of these. And I don't want to deal with the the this or this, or so that's essentially what I'm doing. It's this or this. Let's see. Yeah. Don't like doing a lot of extra. I don't like having extra logic for error checking, which may never be needed, but I think this code gets even crazier if I don't do that. Okay, so, where'd my cheat sheet go? Okay, here it is. Hash forbidden, cache ID required. Okay, so now we need to do expected attribute with other attribute. So we want to now say, let's add cache ID. That's not here. All right, let's get the message in real quick. Expected attribute cache ID when we have one of our don't like first. It's like one of certificate attribute names. Okay, I have to go figure out why we don't have the cache ID down here. Probably never needed it down here, so I'll have to go looking for it. Let's see. All right, so does that our logic then? Hash is forbidden, which is this here. Illegal attribute with other attribute, whichever one, the hash. Yeah, and cache ID is required. Cache ID, expected attribute, cache ID when you have one of these, and make sure this is the same order. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, so if you have that, we expect this. Very good. Or I can put more. Yeah, I think that's still fine. I can put, I don't know if that's confusing. It's not an or because those are anded. I'm just going to leave it like that. This other option, this overload here allows me to say when you have this attribute or this attribute, which isn't quite what I want because you need both of these. So I'm just going to continue to pick the first one and go from there. All right, so now let's go find cache ID. Cache ID. Cache ID is on a separate element. The package. Lovely. The cache ID is on the separate package element. All right, I have to go look at that. Let's see. So, all right, no certificate is this case. Double check before I get rid of my cheat sheet here. All right, no certificate. Hash is required. Expected attribute without other attribute. Right, so we expect to have the hash, and then we also require the size. So now I could point them in the direction of saying, without other attribute, and then say, hey, you either need source file or you need to go use the certificate thumbprint. But because of all the complications of using certificates, I don't really want to point people that direction. I want to point them back to, hey, just use your source. So I think that's correct. All right. So cache ID being optional means we don't have to check it, and hash is required and size is required. So those are the two checks. If it's empty, do that. If it doesn't have a file, we expected that attribute without other attribute. When you don't have a size source, we need those things. All right, great. And this one now, here, we are verifying by certificate, and the hash is not allowed, size is optional, so we don't have to check it, and cache ID is required, and we don't have cache ID, so we have to go hunt down where cache ID is being set. All right, great. Let's go back to the thing that called this finish. And let's figure out who has the cache ID on them. Parse chain package. All right, so this is on the package level. Right, so the issue here is that when you're caching, you cache a package and you put all the payloads in one folder together. They all go together. which makes sense. The package and all of its payloads need to go into the cache location all together. So the cache ID is up on the package, and the hash and the size and the certificate and so on and so forth are on each of the individual payloads. All right, so that makes sense. That means that we need to figure out how to shuffle this cache ID around to where we need it. So if we go back, I'm going to put a bookmark here so we can jump back here real quick. And we go back to where we were. I want to look at, this is a parse package payload, and there are two references to it. So let's go and see where the two references live. Here's one inside the parse payload group. Well, that's a problem, probably. Well, we'll see. All right. So, okay. So what I'm trying to do is see, looking around and see the different ways that we can get the payloads here. All right. And here's parse package payload. This is when it's nested underneath our package. So here, see, we have cache ID. So we could pass it down. Oh, I've scrolled too far. Parse package payload. Can I paste? Parse package payload element. There we go. Yeah. So we'll have the cache ID here when the payload is nested under a package. So that's like, XE package payload kind of things. So in this case, cache ID could be up here. You want people to get an idea that you want to put good, simple things in there. All right, and then payload. So we could pass here the cache ID straight down. The problem case is if we have a payload group ref, we can't pass it down because this ref is going to go off and refer to something in some other fragment. So we can't check this here. We'll have to check it in the back end after everything is put together. We'll have to find that the cache ID must be specified. Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, from this code, the hash is used as the cache ID, and that's being set in the back end already when the cache ID is not present. So it's possible we could go jump to that point where the cache ID was being defaulted to the hash, and we have to undo that anyway because we don't want that behavior. We want to force them to provide a cache. So maybe we can use that spot to get the error in there, because it's going to have to be all at the back end. Bummer. I have to jump all the way over there. All right, well, let's go look into the back end and see if we can find where we... this is always the part that I get lost at because I haven't spent enough time back here. The manifest builder. Go in here. Burn, bind, bundle, backend. Bind bundle. All right. And then there's too many manifests. Maybe, let's see. Cache ID gets set in here. I think it's still called cache ID. Current project. Find all. Let's see if we can find where the cache IDs are set. Duplicate cache IDs. All right, cool. This is an interesting thing. Okay. Detect duplicate cache IDs. That's going to be presumably after. There's the cache ID being set off that symbol. Okay. So we can also... Oh, that's not. Okay. Let's see if we can find... This is detecting collisions. This is setting chain packages cache IDs. process exe. There it is. There we go. If the cache ID is null, then set it to the hash. So that's one of the pieces of code we wanted to find. This is only an exe package. I guess that's because all of the other package types, well, the other package types have better cache IDs? Yeah, right. So if it's an MSI, the cache ID could be generated from better information. That makes sense. Same for MSPs. They can be set. That can be set from better things. So here again, we're saying hash from the MSU. All right, that's what I expected. That the MSU wouldn't have any distinguishing characteristics and we would have to set it to its hash, which it does here if you don't specify a cache ID. All right. All right, so let's see here. So if we have an MSU or an XC, I don't know which one's easiest to talk about. We'll talk about XCs. MSUs are a little bit funkier. So here, if we have an exact source file on a package, like if we have the package, we're pointing at the file and we're saying this bundle contains that XC and go with it, the hash is a valid cache ID because we have this file, it'll be cached here, that's locked. That's an easy thing, you know, because we don't really want people to have to specify cache IDs because it's just a fantastic place to make mistakes. And if you make mistakes, weird things are going to happen when you install and things like that. So we don't really want people messing with the cache IDs. Also, if you set them to lots of different values, you can end up creating lots of duplicates in the cache because things that are the same don't end up being in the same spot in the cache. So we don't want people to specify the cache ID unless absolutely necessary, because whatever we would auto calculate for them would be worse. All right, so knowing that, this code is sometimes okay. We do want to set the cache ID to the hash, but only when we're not remote. If we are remote, this is the place. Yeah, so this is the place. If the cache ID is null here, that means it was not set. This is only on this package. Yeah, so the cache ID needs to be set if the package is marked to be verified by a certificate. The problem is I don't think that's going to be on this package symbol for us, right? So if we look at this .facade.package symbol, this is the thing that the compiler generated. It has the size. Oh no, it has the hash. Okay, wait, no, the payload, package payload. Right, okay, never mind. It's right there, the package payload. All right, so the package symbol has a metadata about the package stuff. The payload, that is the package symbol's payload, is the key payload, the payload that the package launches. So like an exe, for an exe package, the payload ref is going to point at the exe file itself. Cool. So I do have the information I need, I think. All right, so let's back up a bit. So if the package symbol did not have an authored cache ID all the way back to compiler where we started here, then we need to say, yeah, right. So this is the install size and things like that. That's not what we want. Okay, so we want to look at the package payload. There we go. Okay, so I need my cheat sheet back. Did I get rid of it already? I got rid of it already. Anyway. Back to the error message. So with certificate verification, with hash verification, no, with certificate verification, the cache ID is required. So if we have a certificate public key, or we have the thumbprint one as well, or we have a thumbprint. Technically speaking, by the time we get here, the compiler should have prevented us from getting to this point, right? So, but we'll do the same check that we did before. So the again, if we are validating the package via, what am I saying? Certificates. I really should use this. Certificates via certificate. The cache ID must be specified. I don't know if we ever say by the developer. In source code. All right, so this is interesting. So now we say we need an error message here. Oh, look, this doesn't have the messaging system passed into it. All right, fine. We will add it. All right, give myself a messaging object. Why did you go after? Did you alphabetize them? That's interesting. It did alphabetize them. When normally it sets them in the order that they came. I don't know how I feel about that one. I don't know. I'm putting messaging at the top because it's like always at the top. It's kind of like the helper thing. I don't know how I feel about that. Messaging dot right, and now we need to go get our error message, which we're gonna go get back from our compiler payload check. This thing. Messaging, right, our error messages, thank you, from, let's see, the package payload, source line numbers, good, so we have that. This element name, oh no, we know, this is the exe package. Whew, that was close. I was gonna say we weren't gonna know the name of this element, but we do here. This is the exe package. Cache ID, and now we need this one of the certificate names again things. And we get this from the payload. All right. So don't like generally throwing these sort of compiler error messages all the way out the back end, but sometimes that's the only time when we have the information. So the error message will be on this line number, the exe package's cache ID attribute is required when you have one of these two certificates. Otherwise, so another thing to look here is if the, no, this is fine. All right. Otherwise, else we are validating the package by hashing. So default the cache ID to hash. Can be defaulted to the hash. There we go. Now, I think that's correct. The issue is we need all of this over in the MSU now. Because the MSU is the other container that can hit this case. What about the bundles too? The bundle package. Oh no, the bundle package will have its ID. Yes, right, good. Right. I have to think about this one because bundle package is new in V4, so I don't always think about it first. But it, of course, has a bundle ID that it can base everything off of, and that's fantastic. Bundle ID and version. Technically, we don't need the version here because the bundle ID will be unique for every single build. But I don't know. It's just a few more characters, and it'll probably be nice to see. Except that... Oh, this won't work. Oh, that's interesting. This won't work if the bundle version has a plus sign in it, will it? I forgot. Can you make a... Let's see. Let's do make directory quote a... I need to use command. Let's use command. All right. Make directory. Maybe you can't. I'm forget. Yes, you can. Good. You can do a plus b. A plus b is also a command. A plus b for me. Thank you. All right. Cool. Sorry, I had a thought where I was like, wait. A plus. There are a set of characters that are not allowed in file names. And I would say A plus B because A plus B is a way of doing copy commands or something. It's a very weird DOS thing. I don't know if anybody uses it, but it is not an issue. It still can show up in the paths. So that should all be good. All right, anyway. So let's see. Oh, wait. So... All right, so that was install bundle. Oh, so MSU. MSU needs this check as well. Not easy to jump over here to there. Package payload is just, yep, a payload symbol. Package payload, we could pass the source line numbers in, things like that. I don't know where I'd put it though. These guys don't have any shared error handling. We don't want to collide with the bundle zone cache. Ah, interesting. So the version is the way to, so the nested bundles get the version and the normal bundle doesn't get the version. I guess that'll work. Subtle, but needs something, so yeah. It's interesting. All right, so don't think we have any shared things. Process payloads command. No, that's not going to help me. Nope. All right. So burn common is a bunch of helper things, mostly around the low-level binary. Yeah, this is lifted. Yeah, this is lifted from the reader-writer stuff. Yeah, so this is very V3-ish looking code that when the reader and writer got pulled in. All right. Let's see, where's another place I could put this? What is this? This is a check, except it also is defaulting the cache ID. This, then we'll have to go here and change that. And you need messaging here. And here. Add that and initialize that, please. Still interesting. Putting them alphabetical order as opposed to constructor. I don't know. I think most of these are constructor order, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Okay. Something's still not building. However, it's not containing definition for cache ID. Right, that's what we're working on now. You might be able to do the defaulting to hash in the detect collision command. Yeah, that's kind of a, I don't know if I want, that's an interesting side effect. Detect collisions, it'd be like, well, let's look at it. Detect, where was that? Detect payload collisions cache ID. So that's the payload symbol for all the packages. Try to get those. Try to get the value. So package cache collisions. Get the cache ID. Got it. All right. So this would be detect payload collisions. Yeah, so we'd want to change, if we put it here, we'd want to change the name of this to not just be detect. We'd want it to also be like fix up. I mean, the place where it's at is the best, like this is the right place for it when we're calculating the different package, the different individual packages, looking at them. Here's the behavior of that. Because after this point, we want the cache ID to be set. The expectation is that after all these commands are processed, you know, these various parts are set. I think that's the right thing, that the cache ID is still set. I just don't have a better place to put like this in a generic way, per se. I haven't been in here structuring things in a while, so it's not like that. There is also a bundle validator. Yeah, that's in. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, this isn't quite. Yeah, I don't know that it bubbles up to extensibility level reusability. Yeah, it's like I'm kind of in between. I just want a internal helper method, I guess. I think put it on the burn backend errors, but that, I mean, this is just a data object, so I don't want to put it there either. It's like, yeah, where is a good place to put this? These cross-cutting, I guess we don't have many of these in MSI because it's just kind of one pass through. These are the extensibility services. And who implements you? The burn backend helper, the internal backend helper. Oh, this is the thing that holds the validator and the backend helper. Yeah, interesting. He doesn't have messaging today, so he'd be getting. Well, he could have messaging added to him. I don't know. Let's see what does it look like if we put that sort of thing in here, right? We want to do public. The interesting thing also is I want to know. That's interesting. I just I don't want other things trying to use this. I don't want other MSI type package types to use this. It really is just the MSU and the XE. Because the other ones can set cache ID as well. Yeah. It just doesn't feel right. Something there just doesn't feel right. All right, let's go back and delete this. Expected that, one of those, that. Expected attribute, that, and that, that. All right, so the core is building again. Is there a way to minimize all these? Yes. Yeah, and I expect this to be failing because I need to pass in the messaging argument. I have to do that pretty much no matter what, right? Oh, no? Not gonna give that to me? Oh look, these guys already needed it. So MSP and MSI already needed it. So these guys are just catching up. That's good. Oh, the bundle package just takes the whole service provider. Why does he take the whole service provider? Messaging. What else does he use it for? Oh, geez. And then we pass it down to that thing. And that thing needs it for messaging and the backend helper. Right? Interesting. Okay, that's... Okay. Not here, not now. All right, so... Whoa, wait a minute. Okay, sorry, I got confused. The new 17.2 has this large green line here that with the little yellow boxes in it that looks a lot like the N-Crunch lines here, these white ones, and I've been seeing them and going back and forth. All right, so let's go see. See, now I'm gonna really miss N-Crunch being able to help me find this. What are you upset about? Warning, the get info targets. Yeah, that's okay. This is basically telling me that, I know this is too small to see, that because N-Crunch runs in a temporary build folder, creates complications sometimes because it does that, but it does it for speed purposes. It's not a repository, so then this is spitting out an error, or a warning, yeah, that it can't get the repository root, so it can't get the git versioning, which is interesting that core test package is having this problem, but other things built correctly. Oh no, you're having the same problem too. Core test, core integration is also, no, that said build success. Oh look, all right, there must be something else wrong. I don't know. Wix toolset core test. Wix toolset core test. Wix toolset core test package. Wait. Wix toolset core test packet. Am I reading this wrong? Oh, Wix toolset.core. This one. Duh. Not the test one. The test package. Output. Build. Yep, up to date. Everything's fine according to this. And there's really nothing special about this guy. I really wish this worked. I've gotten so... N-Crunch makes life so much easier to know when I've hit these final lines. All right, I'll have to go look at that later. Let's go look at some of our burn tests and see integration. Converter core integration. And see where we're at with certificate checks. And then also MSUs as well. Let's start with MSUs real quick. And see what kind. All right, so this is just a simple, do we have an MSU package? All right, test data MSU, test data MSU package bundle. And he's gonna say, hey, I have this MSU in it. Cool. And we need another one to have a certificate and all that kind of good stuff on it. All right, so this is a bundle. MSU package bundle. Are we just grabbing everything? No, we're grabbing the exact file name. All right, that's good. So we could say bundle. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna leave that as it is. And let's say bundle with certificate. All right, so no source file. certificate public key. I don't know that I have to get things correct in here. Certificate thumbprint equals 1, 2, 3. Or do I have to put these on the payload thing underneath it? Ugh. Let's see. Let's look on here for all in here. Yeah, remote payload fixtures. There we go. Maybe we should. That's an interesting question. Should we do it in the remote payload checks? Or should we do it? Oh, here's one for MSU already. Oh, that's interesting. Can get remote MSU payload. Yeah, it's interesting. I started with MSU, but there's also remote payload. I don't know. All right. So let's look at this one instead, and maybe we'll go with that. Remote test data, remote payload. Where is the source file it's using? Test data. This file output. This. Oh, burn remote. Oh, this is just running the remote payload command. Okay, can get remote payload and remote payload. Got it. Okay, so that's when you have a file without doing the certificate hash. Right. And then, okay. Yes, payload with certificate instead. Right. And we're gonna have to fix this as well because this is adding the hash here. I thought, oh, maybe it's not. Hash. Why did it go back to the top? I was right where I want to be, MSU. Whoa, there. Diverse payloads bundle, okay. Lots of different things in it, I guess. Remote bundle. Remote bundle. I do not know where I want to put this test. I want to put it in MSU. There's too many differing tests here, I think. Maybe. All right. So here's the XC. Here's the MSU as a remote payload. Yeah, but these are not certificate ones. Here's the one with the certificate data, payload. And let's drop this down for a second. There it is. I thought the hash was there. Jumping over it. There we go. All right, there's the hash. Okay, so we need to fix the remote command as well to do the same logic that we did before. If there's a certificate, then we will need to have them provide a cache ID, which means the command alone won't work, which is fine. They'll have to provide us, I suppose we could say use certificate and say they have to provide us the cache ID. Maybe that's the way to do it. When you do use certificate, you must specify the cache ID. That might be the way to improve that command. All right, but at the same time, we need this hash needs to go away because if we try to compile this, it will not. It will fail with the code that we just changed. All right, so this doesn't help me generate the data for a payload. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still Ray. Yeah. All right, you know what? I'm going to remove the hash here now. So at least this test will be failing, and that'll remind me that I have to go fix this in case things start coming over there. Size version. That. Wait. Okay, so this, right, this XE does not have a certificate. Oh no, it does. This is the thing that needs the cache ID. The XE package needs the cache ID. Let's see, where would we put it? XE package payload. Why is this one? All right, let's bring up Test Explorer. let's see if this thing can find the tests and run this one for me. Can get payload with remote certificate. Yes, please. Something. Go. Wow. Yeah. Not run test. Yes, I know. 442. Show me the tests, please. This is why I so don't like the Test Explorer. Yeah, show all of them. Can we find it, please? No? No tests. 2 warnings. Discovered. I don't care. Well, let's just run a couple and see what it does. Run all of them? Show me them? Anything? Oh, it's doing another build again. I guess I changed code. That's fair. I changed the code. We're found 442 tests again, right? Yeah, and now you're running them all. Great. Can I see them, please? All right, what am I doing wrong here? Yeah, that's fine. Project name, space, class. I'll take anything that you want to show me. 4 errors. Anything? No? Errors? Show errors? No. All right, fine. I guess I can debug this test. No, can't debug. Still running? Still running. All right, 413, 417. I don't know. If this is an advertisement for nCrunch, I don't know what it is. Oh, come on. 428. There we go. Yay, 4 tests, and it still doesn't give me any of the tests visible. All right, can I debug this one now, please? I guess I can see it through the little widget. I do like this little widget. It's a nice little widget to have. But the rest of the experience is pretty bad. Okay. Great. So now I have these elements. I can take a look at them. Payload certificate, right. And this is failing because I said that there would not be a hash, and there is a hash because that's the current behavior. Fine. And there is a hash on the XE package. Well, I haven't changed that, of course. The XE package payload. Right, so that's the main one. Come on, mouse. Keep up. There we go. So he needs to have his hash gone too. Wow. Okay. So that hash goes too. And the package payload is the thing that gets the cache ID. Where would we put that? Probably here. TBD. All right. Okay. All right, I feel good. I just want to get that down so I would remember when I hit that problem again. So can get MSU payload. This is not signed. This is doing the remote payload check for us, so that's fine. I want one that includes the MSU package payload. And this is the only thing. MSU's in here. Right. So there's the payload being found. Okay, so this is, what is this doing? Bundle payload, remote payload, has an MSU in it. Oh, external out. What files did this give me? All right, my mouse is freaking out. Whoa, okay. Whoa. Hello, mouse? There we go. No, it's still jumping. Weird. All right. losing connectivity with my mouse here. That's not great. Let's see. I've lost the cursor. Lost the cursor. I don't have a cable to plug it in right now. Okay. There we go. All right, let's see. Diverse payloads. Let's look at this thing. Remote payload. Remote payload, diverse bundles, payloads bundles. So this has an XE, an MSU, and an MSI in it, and some external package route to another XE that is signed. Okay. All of these are local. That's fine. And this is bundle package payload. I'm trying to figure out what things it's getting. Get fragment test XML. Root. Oh, interesting. Okay, adds a root element around XML. I see. Okay. I'll need to look at the breakdown of this test to understand what it's doing. And then tries to do a remote payload. Root. Payload. Bundle package payload. All right, so none of these are remote. Wait. These are remote? Oh yeah, there's no source file in them. So there's a download URL, detect condition. Oh no, there's a source file in all these. These aren't remote. Okay. Now I'm confused. External without download URL. Then generate bundle payload generation external without download URL. Okay. Clearly I have to just walk through this test. Wow. My mouse is really behaving strangely. No, it's not doing that. Okay, fine. I don't even know if I care about this test. Like, just try to figure out which of these things I can use, should reuse, or if I should just go off into the MSU. But I don't know. This is the whole. All right. So here we're going to do a build. Yeah, I don't. Actually, let's put breakpoints. Where were those? Process MSU. And here, we'll set a breakpoint. Yep. And process XE. Process MSI. Process XE. All right, let's see what happens if we get in here. Okay, out we go. All right, this is all the compiler part. Parsing, compiling. And we're in to where there's no cache ID, right? All right. So this package payload is a test bundle, but it's an XE package, fine. And it does not have certificates. So it's going to be able to use its hash. All right, so that's not surprising. I guess what I'm looking for is a test that will hit this case, and I don't expect I'm going to find it. Here it is for the MSU. Cache ID is null, and these are null, right? Yep, those are null. So that was from before. This is from before. From before. Wow, a lot of extra. Oh, then I hit a 5. Went flying through it. All right. Let's see. This first step, build, then do this. What does this part do here? Let's go ahead and debug. Running. Then we hit here. What is this? None output file. All right. What is this? All right. So this is a remote payload. Great. That's being generated for the test.exe. Great. The none output file. Okay. And so then I see. So it has 1, 2, 3 bundle, remote bundle, payload, bundle, payload, remote bundle. All right. The XML. Oh, it would have read it for me. Thank you. Bundle, remote bundle. Okay, great. Ignore these attributes by name. So on the payload, all right, it doesn't say there is a payload, it just says if there is one, ignore that. Great, fine. So it does that. And then external without download URL. So we are going to create this again. External without download URL. And if we look at this file, it's going to be the same thing, but no download URLs. And there's more files at this point. So this is a test.exe with all of these files, okay? And this is probably a bundle finding all of its included parts here is my guess. And okay. So that gets built and we can validate that. And then we do another one. So this is testing remote payload command again. Another remote payload. Okay, I see. This is just testing. Right, okay. See, you know what I just did? I just went off saying, hey, I want to test remote payloads. This is the burn remote payload command. That's what this test is testing, which is obvious because that's what it's doing everywhere. And I looked at the first build and thought, hey, this could be the place where I want. This is not what I want. This is testing the burn remote payload command, which is great. And it should do that. And maybe should have named it something else. Maybe the fact you should have put burn in front of it, that would have said, hey, this is only for burn tests. I'm going to write that down because that is... Because remote payload is too generic a term. Consider renaming remote payload fixture burn remote payload fixture or something to that effect. Maybe include the word subcommand in there. All right. Okay. I am now convinced this is not the right file. It's interesting. We may need things like it, but that is not the right thing. I was in the right place here. Okay. Bundle with a certificate. This is the one I want. And I'm going to go back to my MSU command. Fixture, please. MSU package fixture. Yes, this. So we're going to let that build stand because this is a good test. Can build bundle MSU package with a certificate verification using verification. That folder, this file. Great. Now I expect this to fail because I did not provide all of the parts that are necessary. And this is where nCrunch would just go off and run the test for me and tell me right away, but it's not working. So I have to go dig in that. Did I say debug? Right? Hello? Maybe? Debug. Okay. Now we're gonna go. Okay, good, good, good. What? All right, result is 63. Great, that's what I expected. Good. The MSU package element contains unexpected attribute certificate from it. Yeah, these go on the payloads, right? And then the MSU package ID is not found and is required. Interesting. If that's true, why is it not failing in the other one? And a chain package must have at least one element of type MSI package or package group ref. What? This is a very strange error message. And this is probably because we didn't get far enough. Oh my goodness. These error messages are terrible. All because of these unexpected attributes? Oh dear. Okay. Finding more problems than I'm fixing at this point, which is not fun. All right. So I need to do remote payload on the MSU and get the results of that and then change them into a certificate. So if I go back and look at the remote payload fixture, can I fake it enough based off the information here? So that's a bundle package payload. Remote bundle. I want a remote. These are all bundles. Yeah, okay, fine. Remote XE. Let's get a remote MSU package payload. Okay. We'll grab you. I think it's more like that. Except it's what, called remote payload? Let's go debug down to the compiler again then. Parse payload package. Can we go? Nothing is working for me now. Oh. All right, we're going to parse the chain package. Here we go. And we're going to go through here and get our authoring right. All right, debug. So now we're going to run it again, debug all the way down into the compiler and see what we get for the MSU. So our node hopefully is an MSU package. Yes, it is. Yay. Compiler payload is required. Yep. Okay. Go, 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 go. Detect condition. That's fine. Where is my... Okay. KB. Great. So now we're going to get children of MSU package payload. Good, 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 good. You should find one. Yes, thank you. Good. And now we go parse this. All right, great. Finally, is remote allowed? All right, remote is allowed on bundles, XEs, and MSUs. That's great. So we are good to go there. Create that object. It's going to hold all this data that we then use to verify. Okay, now we have our public key. Did it get upset at me about this? Nope, I don't think it's going to. Even though my public key is not at all correct. Size, great. Oh, dang it. I wanted to go in here. Fine, I found where I want to be now. Let's do that again. Debug it, go. All right. Now, calculate and verify fields. Okay. Wait. source file is null. That's fine. Name is null. Okay. Okay, we got past that one. Is remote allowed? Yes, it is. Are we local? No, we're not local. Great. Download URL. Fine. I'll put a download URL on it. We have a name. If this is a remote payload, yes, great. Get one of the certificate attributes names. It doesn't matter. Oh, that gave me the value. Ugh. Fine. See? We'll fix that. Of course, these are the values, not the names of the attributes. Silly. All right. And if there's no hash, great. So we got past that part. Great. So now let's bring back our check here. And let's just run all the way to this point, because we should get all the way to, oh no, the compile didn't work, so we didn't get that far. All right, fine. Yes, I know. Let's go fix the code. What did it say? I needed a download URL. Load URL equal URL equals, that's fine. Wixtoolset.org. Doesn't matter. Something. That was all I needed, right? I don't think it complained about anything else. All right, let's run this test again. Debug, go. I think I'm fine. Yay! We jumped all the way through the compiler linker all the way to the backend. So we got all the way back here. Great. Is the cache ID empty? Yes, yes it is. All right, if these things are not there, I'm still spitting out the wrong value here. And then we spit out an error message saying, hey, the cache ID is required. Boom. Fantastic. And the results here now hopefully gives me one error message. Yes, the MSU cache ID attribute was not found. It is required when attribute ABC is specified. That's the wrong answer, but that's okay. Great progress. All right. So these need to be the name of the attributes, not the values of them. Not you. You. This is the one I was looking for. Yep. There we go. Certificate thumbprint. And this is now this. Okay. So without cache ID. There we go. Here, we're going to put the cache ID on it. I shouldn't use this. There. Just in case someone tries to copy the code. Whatever. All right. So that's with verification. So this one should pass now, and this one will fail. All right, go back to the fixture. And you said, oh, jeez. No, I just wanted to run it. I didn't need to debug it, but that's okay. We'll debug it. We'll see if it finds the cache ID correctly this time. Actually, I won't even hit the bind part, right? Because no, I will hit the bind part because I have it. Oh, or not. I'll hit something other error. Okay, message 1 contains MSU package payload contains an unexpected. Oh, right, the package. I keep doing that. The cache ID doesn't go on the payload; it goes on the package, which is the whole point of all of these problems. There. Run. Now I want this to pass. There, it's green. That's great. So let's go back and grab our other one. Without cache ID. Without cache ID. Now this is going to be a failure, but I need the... Yeah, just run it. So if I build this, will you give me the little green thing? Because this Test Explorer over here is not giving me anything. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Can I debug this test somehow, please? I don't want to debug all of them. I just want to test that one. What is this node? Okay. This is the one without it. All right, great. Great. And we will now hit our error case, I hope. Yes, good. And that was the message I want. Show me the text. Output, that's correct. And the error message is going to be this, I think. Exit code 10, probably. Let's see if I can get this right. Assert equal 10. Result.exit code. I think this will be okay. Not found okay. And to string, please. All right. Bar message equals result dot messages dot single. Link, please. Thank you. Wait, did I put this on the wrong? Dang it. Put it in the wrong place. There. Yay. Run. Run, 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 run. And it passed. Hey, look at that. I got it right. 10 MSU package. All right. I just want to see these just to make sure I'm not just getting lucky or something like that. All right. That. Yep. Great. We hit this case. That's good. Exit code is 10. Good. There's a single message, and the message is the MSU cache stuff found is required. All right. Whew. Boy, do I miss nCrunch. I knew I would. What am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? I'm forgetting something. Compiler bundle. All right. Let's bring up the source code for a little bit. I just need to poke at what I did here. And let's see. Yeah, so we passed that. We can do the exe package. The MSU, this just got messaging added, and then the error checking. And then the error checking. Okay, so we can add a test for exes, I guess. And here in the compiler payload, yep, we have those checks. Oh, the remote payload command. That's a thing to do. All right, I don't think I want to pick that up quite yet. Let's go ahead and look at the exe fixture. So this is the MSU fixture. And if we look at the exe package fixture, whoa, yes, yes, all right. All right. I want this example. And in the exe package, I don't know. Bundle uses without cache ID. Let's see. Let's go look at exe package real quick. The folder where we have things. Yeah, great. And given the naming here, let's see, what do you guys look like? Okay. Oh, you guys are using the infrastructure, huh? All right. Yeah, these are using the rest of the infrastructure. Well, we'll go here. Exes don't have that. Name. Foo.exe. There we go. Size. 10. Certificate ABC123. No cache ID. That should get us pretty far into this test. Oh. That won't though. Gotta mash the top and the bottom. Exe fixture. Use certificate exe package. Let's just YOLO this real quick. Let's see what we get. Actual 408. Ah, yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, of course it's not success, but we will get the. Oh, I should hit debug. Oh well. Oh well. Let's see what we get with 408. I'm probably missing some attributes on the. Show me the error message. Output. The exe package uninstall arguments was not found. It is required without a permanent present. Yes, that's a nice little catch. So let's go to this and add a. Yeah, we'll give install arguments. All right. We'll run that. We'll get another failure. It will not pass, but hopefully it'll give me an error message closer to the one I want. 103. I'm going one attribute at a time. Cannot find fake BLL. Oh, true. But, okay. I need to find the bind path that the MSU is using. Folder. Oh, it was in that data folder, huh? It's in the MSU's data folder. Seems like we should have fake in the .data folder just here, instead of duplicating it everywhere. Actually, you know, I'm gonna move you. See how many tests I can make fail by moving this. Yeah, I know, that's fine, move it. It's just a text file, it's not a real thing. All right, and we will then have to add the bind path for let's go with .data folder. Test data, right? .data, yep. Test data, .data, that's what I want. .data folder. Bind path, that one. All right, run this test again. Run it. Be green, please. Great. Run you. I'm going to run you, and you should go red because you won't find your file. Good. There we go. There we go. And you'll need it as well. There. Run. Thank you, and run. And when that goes green, then we'll run over the exe package. Thank you. Exe package. And, oh, I need the same things on you, don't I? Dot folder. No. And the bind path, please. Okay, let's run you again. What I want is to have this fail and show me that the result is a failure, but that I get exit code 10 back. Yay! Cache ID is actually not found, but yes, great. So take this out, run this test. And we end on a happy note. Woo! All right, so, man. Investigate error messages produced when certificate public key is put on MSU package element. Lots of, yeah, okay, fine. So at that, and then consider renaming the remote payload fixture something that's subcommand so that I at least don't confuse myself again. But I think we made it, well, we made it most of the way through. Remote payload should not allow hash information, certificate information. So what's left on this is we're not quite done. We need to also update the burn remote payload command, subcommand, to follow issue number 6745. And that's where we'll be picking it up in a week. We'll be back then. 1 week. In the meantime, well, I'll see you guys then. You guys take it easy. Bye.